For tonight, I am Lakshita Singh.
A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Dahir. Let's take a look at the headlines. President says that books, school equipment and medicines will be exempted from VAT. Heated arguments in Parliament over the central bank salary hike. Financial committee is to look into the matter. Vocational guidance will be given to school students over grade 6. The first program prepared using artificial intelligence will be aired on national television. Convener of the Inter-University Students' Federation was arrested. An armed gang is in an attempt to take control of the Haiti International Airport. Prabhash Veerasinghe of Sri Lanka Navy won the first place at the second stage of Air Force cycle race.
On to those and other stories in detail. We start off with the top story for tonight. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that books, school equipment, medicine and health equipment will be exempted from the VAT.
The world financial bodies have predicted that Sri Lanka's economic growth will be brought between 2 to 3% during this year. He made these comments making a special statement in the House regarding the country's economic situation. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that it is widely acknowledged that our country has achieved a certain level of economic stability at present. However, there are individuals who criticize the programs we enact without demonstrating acceptance of them. The president said that despite the apparent strength of the economy, there are accusations that the general populace isn't experiencing its benefits. Furthermore, there are claims of unnecessary tax burdens on the people as well as excessive hikes in electricity bills and fuel prices. There's a commonly held belief that taxes should be collected from the people gently, akin to plucking flowers without crushing them. However, criticism is directed towards us for not adhering to this principle. Yet it's important to note that these critics overlook the opportunities available to harvest flowers while crushing them to generate revenue. This lesson is quite profound. Under typical conditions, it's feasible to extract nectar without damaging the flowers. However, in the intermediate space, this isn't always possible as the situation differs significantly. He said that today we find ourselves journeying towards intermediate space, but our path has recently led us across a dangerous economic vine bridge. We find ourselves in a precarious situation due to several factors contributing to the collapse of our economy into bankruptcy. One significant reason is the short-sighted decisions made by past governments. Their failure to implement sustainable economic policies has exacerbated our current challenges.
Additionally, various political parties have opposed numerous constructive government initiatives leading to disruption and hindrance of positive work plans. Consequently, our nation requires a structured economic blueprint, a robust financial plan to navigate through these challenges. Despite several attempts to implement such a plan, the country struggled to do so consistently due to the lack of continuous opportunities. The president said that he would like to excerpt a segment from an article authored by Dr. Chandima Vijay Bandara in 1989, published in the Budusarana newspaper. In the mentioned article, Dr. Chandima Vijay Bandara discusses the Kutadanta Sutra, a teaching expounded by the Buddha. Development is unattainable without a blueprint. The Kutadanta Sutra from the Digha Nikaya explains the vital importance of such plans for development. It illustrates how a government faced with an anti-government crisis raised by the proletariat in an underdeveloped nation managed to develop the country through a structured plan. This plan is grounded in state-based economic strategies. Moreover, the sutra reveals that the public thrived not only economically but also enriched themselves in terms of values, fostered positive social relations and lived contentedly and harmoniously. He said that the country failed to adhere to a scientific and methodical approach like the one outlined. Certain groups obstructed the implementation of such a strategic plan.
President Wickremesinghe said that consequently the ramifications are evident in the country's current state. It has plunged into bankruptcy, unable to repay loans and withstand the economic pressures. During this period, the entire society, from ordinary citizens to major entrepreneurs, endured severe hardships. Power outages became a commonplace, ushering in an era of long queues and scarcity. Countless individuals lost their livelihoods as businesses and industries crumbled. Some even opted to flee the country altogether. The nation found itself engulfed in turmoil, descending into an economic abyss. Amidst these trials, the country teetered on the brink of disorder. Governance faltered and controls slipped away, leading to grave danger not only on an economic front but also in terms of social and political stability. No individual stepped forward to confront the frightening task of reversing this dire situation. Despite invitations extended, all declined the opportunity. None possessed the courage to confront the raging inferno head-on and extinguish it. Amidst the reluctance of others, the president said that he courageously accepted the challenge for the betterment of the country. Venturing into the heart of the crisis, the president tirelessly worked to extinguish the flames of adversity. Today, the nation reaps the rewards through those arduous efforts, and the president is grateful for the unwavering support of those who stood by him during his exhausting endeavor. We embarked on a methodical journey, collaborating with the International Monetary Fund to devise a comprehensive economic plan. Through the diligent execution of this plan, the nation gradually returned to stability, the burdens eased, and the clouds of distress began to dissipate. Before the esteemed House, the President would like to present some economic indicators that vividly illustrate this progress. The country's economy, which experienced consecutive contractions for 6 quarters from 2022 to the second quarter of 2023, began to show signs of recovery from the third quarter of 2023 onwards.
Forecasts from international financial organizations suggest that the country poised to achieve a growth rate of 2 to 3% this year. Notably, in 2023, we managed to bolster state revenue by over 50% compared to the previous year. The president said that furthermore, we attained a surplus in the primary account last year. This enabled us to settle all outstanding payments owed to contractors who had rendered services to the government over the past 3 to 4 years. In the first 8 months of 2022, major state-owned enterprises collectively incurred a staggering loss of 720 billion rupees. However, in the corresponding period of 2023, we successfully transformed this into a profit of 313 billion rupees. Despite the closure of numerous businesses amid the economic crisis, the resurgence of the economy has encouraged the establishment of new ventures. The president said that in 2022, the company registrar recorded the registration of 17,819 companies, a figure that rose to 22,376 in 2023. Additionally, in January 2024, 1,995 new companies were registered. Through coordinated macroeconomic demand management efforts between the central bank and the government, inflation dropped from 70% in September 2022 to a significantly lower 5.9% by February 2024. The president said that interest rates have undergone a significant reduction, dropping from over 30% in 2022 to less than 10% in 2023. This decrease has brought relief to small and medium-sized enterprises and consumers, particularly as inflationary pressures ease. Moreover, the usable foreign exchange reserves, which stood at less than $20 million in mid-April 2022, have surged to surpass $3 billion. Import restrictions have been lifted, with the exception of private motor vehicles.
In a notable milestone, the balance of payments achieved a surplus in the current account for the first time since 1977 during the year 2023. This achievement has led to a depreciation of the US dollars from 363 rupees to 308 rupees as of yesterday, marking a strengthening of the Sri Lankan rupee. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the impact of this economic progress is evident throughout society today. He said that a nation that once struggled to leave their homes is now traversing freely. Previously, they couldn't afford to put a drop of oil in their car to rush a sick person to the hospital or accompany a deceased loved one to the cemetery. People face challenges such as not having gas for cooking at home, leading many to prepare meals outdoors. A nation that, when a child fell ill, would go from house to house in the middle of the night searching for a paracetamol pill. However, this situation has undergone a remarkable reversal. There are critics who question the economic progress we currently experience, attributing it to the temporary suspension of loan payments. They argue that once the debt is repaid, the nation will regress into a state of hardship. They describe the current situation as an interval in hell, suggesting that despite the apparent progress, underlying challenges remain unresolved. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that currently we are actively engaged in discussions regarding the restructuring of all loans, including domestic and foreign loans. He said that we are optimistic that these negotiations will reach a successful resolution soon.
Our goal is to obtain temporary relief from debt defaults from 2023 to 2027. He said that subsequently we plan to diligently work towards repaying the loans in the period from 2027 to 2042. Sri Lanka faces a significant burden of debt. By 2022, the country was slated to repay approximately $6 billion in foreign debt annually, amounting to about 9.5% of the GDP, a considerable strain for any nation. Through successful negotiations for debt restructuring, we aim to alleviate this burden by reducing the annual foreign debt payments to 4.5% of the GDP, a substantial halving of the previous percentage. If the current trend of economic growth as observed in 2022 and 2023 persists, we can anticipate maintaining a high percentage of state income. In such a scenario, servicing the debt would no longer pose a burden on the country. President Wickremesinghe said that currently we have managed to elevate state revenue to nearly 11% of the gross domestic product. This increase necessitated the imposition of value-added tax. Undoubtedly, this decision was a bitter and challenging one. He said that we made the decision to implement such a tax with great reluctance. However, considering the economic ailment we face, there are no other viable options. We must endure this temporary pain for the greater good. The implementation of the VAT has bolstered the government's revenue, demonstrating to the international community our capacity to repay the debt.
With the increase in government revenues and the revival of the economy, the rupee has strengthened. The strengthening of the rupee has led to a decrease in the prices of imported goods, including fuel. As a result, all VAT-paying companies are now reaping the benefits of the stronger rupee, which extends to the entire country. Furthermore, we anticipate additional benefits in the future. So if we continue our current trajectory with the same vigor, our economy will be in significantly better shape by the end of this year. Additionally, we have ceased the practice of using taxpayers' money to cover the losses of the government institutions. Instead, we are restructuring these institutions and transferring them to investors. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the tax network will be expanded, with the total number of tax files surging to over 1 million in 2023, marking a 130% increase. The practice of printing money has been completely halted. He said that we are actively pursuing essential legal reforms to strengthen and modernize the legal framework systems and processes, aiming to improve public financial and economic management for the benefit of all.
In a groundbreaking move for South Asia, the governance diagnostic report has been released, and ongoing efforts are underway to enhance governance and mitigate corruption risks. He said that we are also attracting investments and establishing a new institution for this purpose. Efforts are underway to modernize the agriculture sector, with several foreign countries expressing interest in starting large-scale farms under food security initiatives. We are gradually unlocking foreign markets for exports, focusing on non-traditional export items. The President said that our goal is to transform the country into a green and digital economy and establish it as a regional economic and service hub, with plans to make the port city an international financial hub. However, this can only be achieved if we continue to execute our plan diligently.
The President said that the measures implemented so far have allowed us to provide numerous facilities and concessions to the majority of our citizens. Under the Urumaya program, 2 million families will acquire land ownership, reclaiming inherited land lost over generations. We've tripled social security spending to protect the poor and vulnerable from economic crisis, benefiting 2.4 million low-income families with Aswasuma. Around 4.5 million school children are now covered by the Suraksha insurance scheme. Every school teaching information technology now has smart classrooms, and 100,000 school children have received scholarships through President's Fund. The funds allocated to patients from President's Fund have been doubled. Development initiatives have begun in numerous villages across 89 divisional secretariat divisions as part of the Kandukara Dashakaya, with each regional secretariat allocated 100 million rupees for this purpose. He said that development activities in constituencies are underway through the decentralized budget, and agricultural modernization initiatives have been launched across 25 divisional secretariats.
The President said that tourism is also on the rise, benefiting many individuals, and we are working to further enhance its development. The economy, which had contracted, is now gradually recovering, leading to relief for the people. We have suspended the Parate law for business establishments and offered relief on electricity bills this week. Additionally, we aim to exempt items such as books, school equipment, health equipment and medicine from the VAT list to continue reducing the VAT rate. He said that we are diligently strengthening the economy each day, striving tirelessly to improve the lives of our people and fortify the economy. Our actions are guided by a strategic plan ensuring a systematic and methodical approach. Some suggest retail solutions or collecting funds from Sri Lankans abroad, but these are deemed inadequate by those with economic knowledge. Currently, we must decide whether to continue on our current path, reaping the benefits of our economic trajectory, or risk returning to a state of distress.
To sustain her current course, he anticipated presenting the necessary ordinances and regulations to Parliament, including the Economic Reform Act. While certain segments of society have faced hardships due to our current practices, we are striving to uplift the entire society and establish a sustainable economy where growth benefits all. As Professor Hinpitigadara Nyanavasathera emphasized in 1983, addressing economic problems collectively is key to fostering societal peace and happiness. Let's execute our economic plan in this manner to resolve the issues and strengthen the economic practice of uplifting the entire society. The President said that he urged all members of this Assembly and all Sri Lankan citizens to join us in this righteous journey.
In other stories, several financial draft bills, including the VAT Amendments Bill, were passed in Parliament by a majority of votes. Meanwhile, views were expressed in the House regarding the salary hike of the central bank employees. Some expressed that it is appropriate to take future actions according to the report prepared by the State Financial Committee, headed by Dr. Harsha De Silva. Parliamentarian S.M. Marikka said that the central bank increases salaries of its employees in each 3 years period. In this occasion, they have increased salaries by 76% to cover all increased taxes. If the employees of other state bodies demand such a pay hike, a large sum of recurrent expenditure is needed to pay salaries.
අනෙකුත් රාජ්‍ය ආයතනවලත් රාජ්‍ය සේවකයනොත් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පේ ටැක්ස් එක අහුවෙන විදිහට ඉන්ක්‍රිමන්ට් එකක් දෙන්න කිව්වොත් එහෙම එතකොට
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that all relevant representatives met at the Public Finance Committee yesterday, headed by Dr. Harsha De Silva. The President questions whether the committee provides a report on this matter. Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva said that he would give a report. Parliamentarian Nalaka Godaheva said that at time all public servants requested 20,000 rupees salary hike. Only the central bank employees have increased their salaries by tens of thousands of rupees. On the other hand, the EPF of the normal employees has been slashed up to 9%. The central bank employees have gained an unnecessary benefit by misusing their independency. They must reconsider whether this salary hike is reasonable. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that not only to the central bank, the independency has been given to the stock exchange as well. Parliamentarian Veerasumana Veerasinghe said that the central bank governor has admitted that this collective agreement is not accepted by the Ministry of Labour. Therefore, the salary hike is totally unjustifiable. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that he is astonished to look at the collective agreements of the Sri Lanka's working people. They should be solved by negotiation within the parliament. Parliamentarian Nimal Lanza said that it doesn't matter in increasing the salaries. However, the percentage of increase is not appropriate at this juncture. A final decision should be taken according to the report prepared by the Parliamentary Finance Committee. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that all relevant parties have come to the parliament at present. Therefore, the debate should be continued according to the relevant report.
Minister of Education Dr. Susil Premajanta says that the students should be directed to modern vocational opportunities for changing global economic needs through proper guidance. He states that the career guidance program implemented by the Ministry of Education for students who have completed their advanced level examinations will provide fruitful help for the students. The minister stated this joining the implementation of this vocational training course at the Maharagama Central College. English language skills and information technology skills will be provided to students through this course. A large number of students applied for these courses from the 337,000 students who sat for the advanced level examination this year. Courses will be held at 300 centres covering all the 9 provinces. Further information can be obtained from the Skills Development Officer of the relevant divisional secretariats. Principals of all schools that has A-level classes have been informed regarding these courses. Minister of Education, Dr. Susu Premjantha, said that this project has been planned as a pilot project to provide vocational guidance. Students do not need to stay at home for a long time after the exam. These courses will be held free of charge and the parents are requested to send their children to the nearest training centre. Artificial intelligence has become the cutting-edge technology system overnight.
This system is connected to the artificially created intelligence, and the entire world is now using this for numerous creations. The first television program prepared with artificial intelligence was aired recently by the national television.
Robots their body doesn't change. Their experiences are
right. Computers seem a very efficient way.
This artificial intelligence app is being used for many sectors throughout the globe. Experts predict that such technical apps will take over a large number of duties of human beings. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence has conquered many mainstream radio, TV and social media platforms to broadcast programs.
So that I've got a different form.
This works. Computers are not going to
5 years of its broadcasting journey.
Unveiled a virtual news presenter, artificial intelligence.
From CES 2024.
The former President Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, the rapid rise of AI globally has...
The first artificial intelligence TV program was aired recently through a program of the national television. It is the first such program in the field of television media in Sri Lanka.
එක්සත් අරාබි එමිරාජ්‍යයට එහෙම විශාල ශක්තියක් වුණු 100% ශ්‍රී ලාංකික අපූර්ව තරුණ ව්‍යවසායකෙක් තමා මනෝජ් බෝගඩ මහතා.
The program was produced by the news division of the national television.
ඔබ ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකයෙක් මේ වගේ දැවැන්ත වැඩකට කොහොමද අදහස ගොඩනගන්නේ?
මම එන්න කලින් ආයතන සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 8ක්
ලංකාව පත් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලයි මනෝජ් බෝගඩ මහතා සඳහන් කළේ.
Chief Executive of the UUDS Institute Manoj Bogada, an aviation service provider in the UAE, enthusiastically contributed to this program. He expressed his views on his long journey in the business sector and the commitments that should be done in the public service, social media, politics and many other sectors in order to have a turning point in Sri Lankan economy. Chief Executive of the UUDS Institute Manoj Bogada said that he is very happy that the SLRC has bravely come forward to telecast this program. This is the first artificial intelligence related program prepared by a media institution in Sri Lanka. He further said that special thanks should go to the chairman of the SLRC, Dr. Prasad Samarasinghe, for taking such a challenging decision.
Parliamentary 225. blame කරන්නේ කාටද? 225ම යටයි මේකද?
A protest campaign organized by the Inter-University Students' Federation was held at the Punchibarala Junction today. Convener of the Federation, Madhushan Chandrajit, was arrested by the police during the protest. The protesters attempted to walk towards the main access to the National Hospital Square. Then the police attacked them with water cannons. The protesters had planned to go to the University Grants Commission. However, the police riot squad and the STF dispersed the students.
A book written by former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa under the title of Conspiracy to Oust Him from the Presidency is to be launched tomorrow. His direct experience on changing a regime with the support of international elements have been included in this book. Making an announcement, former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that this book will be important not only for Sri Lankans but also for foreigners. Copies of this book will be available from both English and Sinhala languages at leading bookshops in the island. State Minister of Women and Children's Affairs Geeta Kumarasinghe says that the new bill will be brought for the well-being of women in Sri Lanka on the International Women's Day. A new loan scheme will also be introduced for them. The State Minister made these remarks at a press briefing of the Government Information Department. Minister of Women and Children's Affairs Geeta Kumarasinghe said that the government will present 2 new bills in Parliament shortly to strengthen women's rights in the country. The minister said that they have worked on 2 new bills will introduce to Parliament after cabinet approval. She further said that one seeks to empower women and the other is to establish equality. She said that the centres will offer women suffering from domestic abuse who have nowhere to go if they leave their homes a temporary respite.
World Youth Summit is being held at the Olympic Park in Sochi in Russia these days. It is significant that a large number of youth are participating in this summit representing Sri Lanka. About 20,000 youth representatives from about 150 countries are taking part in the event. The exhibition has been organized with the aim of introducing cultures in numerous countries. A number of programs have been organized to introduce Sri Lanka's culture to the world. Several dancing and choreographical creations showing Sri Lankan culture are also included in these programs.
Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardena, says that he believes that the Samagi Jana Balawegaya would join with the UNP, casting all the differences. He made this comment at a ceremony held in Malwana area. He was the chief guest of a ceremony to lay foundation stone for the proposed constructed at a cost of 630 million rupees. This project is a pledge that was given by President Ranil Wickremesinghe when he arrived at the school for its centenary celebrations recently. Sri Lankan Navy carries out the construction's principal SHM Nazim and many other guests were present at this occasion.
We now move on to more local news in brief. Educational and technological exhibition and a carnival was kicked off in Jaffna today in line with the 73rd anniversary of Sri Lanka Air Force. Today's exhibition was opened by Northern Provincial Governor PSM Charles. The exhibition and the carnival will end on the 10th of this month. Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center of King Salman of Saudi Arabia has donated a stock of 50 metric tons of dates to Sri Lanka. The stock of dates was handed over to the Sri Lankan government by Saudi Ambassador in Sri Lanka, Khalid Hamid, at a ceremony held in the headquarters of the Department of Islamic and Cultural Affairs. The stage drama, directed by Dharma Priya Das, titled Mama Neme Mama, was staged at the Lionel Wendt Theatre recently. It has been organized by the Executive Officers Association of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, acting chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Rakitabe Gunawardena, and many others were present at this occasion. Well, that's it on local stories. We'll be back with news overseas. We now move on to news overseas. The gang leader behind the violence blighting the Haitian capital has warned there will be a civil war if Haiti's Prime Minister Ariel Henry does not step down. Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier made the threat as members of his gang tried to seize the capital's airport to stop Henry from returning from abroad. Unrest has spread to other cities with a prison riot reported in Jacmel. Thousands have been displaced by the violence. Barbecue, who leads the powerful G9 gang alliance, said on Tuesday that if Ariel Henry does not resign, they will be heading straight for a civil war that will lead to genocide. The G9 alliance has unleashed a wave of violence violence, including attacks on police stations and the storming of the country's two main prisons.
A quick look at the sports news before we wind up. Prabhash Veerasinghe of the Sri Lankan Navy won the first place of the third stage of the Air Force Cycle Tour.
The race started this morning in Trincomalee town. This event has been organized in line with the 73rd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force. The race that has been organized for the 25th time will be held for 5 days, covering a distance of 654 kilometers. Nadisha Shan of the Sri Lanka Air Force won the first place of the first stage, and Nipuna Sonal of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority became the champion of the second stage. Pasanda Tissera of the Sri Lanka Army won the third stage. Today, the fourth stage stretches a distance of 139.4 kilometers. The cyclists reached the Vavuniya Air Force camp passing Trincomalee, Maropatana, Kahatagas Digiliya, Rambava, Madavachiya, Puneva. Today's second place won by Umesh Veerasinghe of Kadirana Cycle Club, and Krishna Nayakkodi of Indian Air Force won the third place. This cycle tour is live telecast through the ChannelEye of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation.
ඊයේ දිනේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකා යුද හමුදාව තම බලය තහවුරු කරගත්තා. එහිදී පසින්දු තිසේරා ඊයේ දිනේදී තුංග නාදියර ජයග්‍රහණය කරමින් ජය තහවුරු. පාපැති සවාරියේ සිව්වන අදියරේ අවසානය තමයි මේ සනිටුවන් වෙන්නේ. තව මීටර් 50 අවසන් මීටර් 50 අපි බලමු ජයග්‍රහණය තහවුරු කරගන්නේ කවුරුන්ද කියා. මෙන්න අපි හඳුනා ගන්නවා ශ්‍රී ලංකා නාවික හමුදාවේ අංක 70 දරන ක්‍රීඩකයා ප්‍රථම පාපැති සමාජයේ නියෝජිත
On a note that the second international T20 cricket match between Sri Lanka was won by Bangladesh by 8 wickets, we come to the conclusion of tonight's news bulletin. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then, good night.
Good night.